Welcome back to Scrap Mechanic Labs. I'm your host, Chief Engineer, and we are going to have so much fun today. Oh my goodness, it is going to be so awesome. We've got spaceships, we've got cranes, we've got UFOs, we've got all kinds of awesomeness happening. And we're going to start off, with doing a quick little how-to tutorial style build on how to make your own little UFO like the one I'm floating on. You're only gonna need two mods, the sci-fi mod and the mod pack. So I'll put those up on the screen real quick so you know the ones I'm talking about. So if you are interested in less is more, more is less, and flying around on this cool little UFO, wiggle, 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 wiggle. And you also want to learn about, I know I get distracted so easy, I start playing with the stuff I build and I forget I'm trying to do a video. And you also want to learn about what these types of pipeworks is called, and how they're used in so many different ways, in so many industries, to build so many different things. You're probably thinking, I'm not inspired, I can't think of something to build. After this video, you're going to be so inspired, you're going to be like, Chief, now I don't know what I want to build first. There's so many great ideas out there, and we're going to talk about all of them, and the proper implementation of those ideas when we get back right after this message. Oh yeah, woo! Okay, I'm going to try to keep this organized because I can be pretty disorganized with my thoughts. So let's start off with this little duck scale UFO that a dwarf can sit on top of. How many parts we're talking here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parts. This is a 9-piece build, alright? There is 3 thrusters on the bottom, 2 buttons, 2 of the dishes without the, what's called a, it's called a feed horn. The feed horn free dishes. Now the feed horn is that little part that's like on the front of this one. See how this one up top has that little thing on the end? That's called a feed horn. That's what the parabolic dish focuses the frequencies that it's picking up on, and then the feed horn is what picks up the signal. Or it'll work in reverse if you're setting up your dish to create what's called an uplink, and that uplink will be beamed out from the feed horn, which wouldn't be a feed horn anymore, I guess it would be like an uplink thing, and reflect it out and send the broad signal through the dish. So we're going to be using this dish, the one down here. It's like a giant, just parabolic without any type of receiver or transmitter, really. I'm not sure if a dish by itself, without any type of focal point reflector thing, can actually do anything. I think they always need some kind of feed horn or some kind of antenna somewhere in front of the dish to pick up the signal. So that might be something they wanted you to build separately. I don't know. But anyway, if you know more about antennas than I do, please feel free to comment on how it would work. But for now, we're going to come back to this in a second. For now, we're going to do that quick little build, and I'll show you how to make your own little UFO. It's going to be so much fun. So first, you're going to start off with your parts. You're going to need the satellite dish part, and that's pretty much your whole build right there. So take your satellite dish, flip it so it's like, you know, salad bowl style, like that. And next, you want to take a bearing. Now you put your bearing, you don't want to put your bearing right in the middle. You want to put your bearing a little bit to the front, just like that. This is what's going to be shifting your center of gravity and allowing you to sort of strife left and right on the vehicle. It's really neat how this works. So let's go back to our dish. Let's place it on there, and when you hold the button to place, you drag it back a little bit, but I can't do it because I'm standing on it. So you drag it back a little bit till it is on there like a little tiny UFO. Isn't that looking so cool? It's already looking so cool. I love easy builds, guys. It is so relaxing to just be able to create whatever you want and not be all stressed all out about it. Now there's different ways to do this. Since we're using the mod pack, you can put all kinds of seats on here. You could put the seats, the standing seats, you could put a little block and a sitting seat, you could do any kind of seat. Yeah, you could go crazy with it. I kinda really like this compact mech seat because I just think it looks so tubular. So I'm gonna throw, now the orientation of the seat is going to want to be in relation to where that bearing is. So that bearing is like right near the front there, right under that little red dot. So you want your seat like right on the middle here, because this is a perfect balance build. What I mean by perfect balance build is that the weights of this build is perfectly balanced. Now, you're going to want to, if you want your left to be left and your right to be right, you're going to want to connect your seat to the bearing. You're going to want to flip it just once. Now this should happen when you're sitting on here. It should wiggle left. So when you press left, you see how the whole structure kind of falls to the left a little bit, and when you press right, the whole assembly sort of rolls and falls to the right a little bit. This is you changing your center of mass on the little UFO vehicle. This is what's going to give you the ability to strafe left or right. Your left or right strafing. Let me get rid of that so it looks like a better video. So next thing we need to do is apply our thrusters and our buttons. So I'm going to use a little hammer here, knock this over, big doink, chase it around a little bit, because this is the fun part. This is the fun part of building, just beating up your build. See that? Look at that. I can't get it to do what I want it to do, but you know what? It's alright. Because, there we go. You just have to rough it up a little bit. Good thing we had that little cat there. Now the seat's facing that way. So we're going to need thrusters. Let's grab our inventory. We're going to use this tiny little picto thruster. And we are going to lay them out in line with the direction of the seat here. So we're going to have one there, and one there. The only thing left we need now is some little tiny buttons. Where are the little buttons? I love those MJM buttons. They are so cool. That's a timer, and that's the slim button. I'm going to put it right there. So we'll have one button here, boop, and one button here. Now, let's link up the buttons. Oh wait, first we got to set the thrust correctly. This thrust is going to be right about there. That'll give us just enough lift. Give us some upward momentum. Next we are going to connect this to this button, this to this button. The middle thruster is going to connect directly to the seat. And let me grab this, put it here. And if I want my front and back to work the way I like it, with my 1 and 2 button, that means that this will be number 1, the one on this side, and this will be number 2. Alright. Oh wait, there's one thing I wanted to change. Your front and back thrusters, these guys right up here, you want them at the lowest power setting, unless you want crazy tilting forward and back. I don't want crazy tilting forward and back. What an easy and fun little build. And you know what the best part about it? Getting the hang of this thing and flying. So right now, pressing W activates the middle thruster, but you're thinking, Chief, you're not going anywhere, what's going on? Now you have to press 1 and 2 at the same time. Whoa! Whoa. That was intense. Let's try this again. I didn't press them at the same time. 1 and 2. What is going on? Did I not connect the back thruster? That one's low. That's the problem right there. Too much twist. Too much twist on one of them. Let's try this again. Make sure that your thrusters are calibrated. And then... oh my goodness. I am way too heavy still. You know what that means? We need to adjust the middle thruster. So let's try giving a middle thruster a little bit more power. Let's see if I can even get an angle on that middle thruster. It's going to be tricky. No, that's not the middle thruster. No. No. Come on, give me an angle. That's the front thruster it's showing me. Okay, we're going to need to hammer this guy over again. Come on. Good enough. Middle thruster. Why is it all the way at the bottom? It's not flying because it's all the way at the bottom. It needs to be right there. You know what? Because they're so close together, it's easy to not be able to target them, so you kind of got to, like, knock them over. Now it lands upside down every time. Check that out. Now I can't flip it over. It's okay. Let's fly, guys. Let's fly. This should work now. There we go. There we go. I'm going to give you an example of how tilt strafing works. If I press the D button while I'm holding W, see I'll angle a little to the right. Check that out. Isn't that so cool? If I press the A button, angle a little to the left. So you go to the left, to the right, to the left, right, left, and you're just wiggling so happy on there. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now you're probably thinking, how do you get anywhere? How do you want to go where you want to go? Now, if I press 1, oh, I got them backwards. If I press 2, angles me forward. But you could change it any way you like. And if I need to get some real serious airtime, hit both my thrusters, and I am off on a UFO adventure. Yeehaw, look at how happy my guy is. He is having so much fun. He does not look horrified at all about going on this adventure. Doesn't he? Now he's having the best time. Woo! See? That's not fear or horror on his face. That's joy. So let's angle it back, angle it back, angle it on back. Let's do a little wiggle to get it straight. Let's head back to our... Whoa, look at that. He looks so happy. Oh my gosh, he's having the best time ever. He's loving it. He knows I'm a good driver. He's not worried. So let's straighten it out, straighten it out, straighten it. Let go of the W button a little bit so we can go down. And let's go back to our base. Let's go back to our base. And talk about some of the other stuff. Whoa, whoa. That was close. That was exciting. Let me zoom out a little bit here so I could get the excitement taken care of. Okay, let's gonna wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Woo, 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 woo. Right over this way. Woo-wee. Okay, perfect landing. I landed like a champ. Alright, so I hope you take the time out to build your own super cool little UFO. You only need 2 mods to do it. Everything in here is only... Actually, no, that's not true. Everything here isn't only 2 mods, because I'm going to be talking about a 3rd mod that I had a blast with. Paint yours up. Paint it up with the colors you like. I painted this up with the lab colors, blue and light blue. Flying around in your UFO. You join me in my world, we all go on UFO adventures. But next I'm going to talk about this new mod by Lord Payne. Oh my goodness. You know how we had these pipes? These they're called these are called lattice, steel lattice structures, or steel lattice tower, tubular steel, lattice. We got the tubular steel ones going here, but some of them are just plain steel bars that don't have tubes. And the reason why these steel lattice structures are so popular in engineering is because they're so useful for so many things. They're a strength to weight ratio, and their low drag coefficient with wind makes them the perfect thing for building big old antennas. when I first started playing with these, I had so many ideas, and they involved spaceships. Oh my gosh, we gotta build spaceships, but it didn't start off with spaceships. It started off with space station. Build a space station. I wanted to build the coolest space station ever. Go into outer space, because space stations have these types of structures built in. They're called, in the actual International Space Station, it's called an Integrated Truss Structure, or ITS. It's where they hang their solar arrays, and they just attach everything. Whenever you have something that needs to span a large area, and you don't want it to be really heavy, and you want it to have low wind resistance, then pretty much these steel lattices is the way to go. Steel lattice it all up. Cranes are made with steel lattices. Here's a little ducky crane that Lego Freak built. So cool. I mean, check it out. He's got it on his workshop. I'm going to put a link to it. If you want to operate your own miniature ducky crane, this is how you do it, bros. So cool. You could even drop it down, boom, and finally grab what you want to grab, bring it back up. So amazing. So many incredible things that you could build around here with these steel lattices. And it doesn't stop here. Just because I don't have it demonstrated here, it doesn't mean you can't build giant, humongous, offshore oil tanker structures for oil drilling, and what other stuff is there that you could build? You could build stages. Lord Payne has an awesome stage he built with his smaller lattice structures, but you could mix it all together, build your spaceships, your space stations, your cranes, your stages, your structures for everything. So much stuff is built out of this. So it's such an awesome addition. Now, before you start building your huge antenna arrays and everything, we need to talk about these antennas. Now, this is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, this is it was a regular radio antenna, this one right here. Did a little research. I tried to get schooled up so I could educate my fellow duckies here in the lab. This one is a very interesting antenna. You notice I didn't put it straight up and down. The reason I didn't put it straight up and down is because this is called a corner reflector antenna. And a corner reflector antenna, it could go this way, or you could actually put it the other way too. It'll work both ways, I believe. It could be up and down or left and right. And these are extremely directional antennas. And if you wanted to send a signal, say, this is also really cool, because this gets me into sort of the theory mode that I get into sometimes when I'm really excited about stuff. They added these parts, and I don't think they just added them for aesthetic reasons. I really think that being able to set up some kind of network where you have two communication towers in two different parts of the map, you aim, and as long as you're lined up correctly, you'll be able to send some kind of messages in survival mode, communicating back and forth. But basically, all I'm saying is you need to set up your corner reflector antennas so that they are aimed at each other this way, because they're so really high directional. So make sure that if you wanted to set up some sort of communication array, that your corner reflectors are pointed this way. Now, when we get into dishes, you have the satellite dish like that, and then you have your parabolic reflector here. Just a plain parabolic reflector is used to amplify a signal. That's really all it could be used for. And that signal amplification would have to be focused on an antenna somewhere near it. So I'm thinking that having a few of these parabolic reflectors around an antenna will somehow increase the gain. So that would be interesting. But I'm not sure how it will play out in the game, when the survival mode, if they're going to even implement all these features. There is so much. so much stuff that could be happening. But the ideas of everything you could do are endless, guys. Absolutely endless. Like right now, I was working on the... This is sort of the... like the sleeping pod or the resting pod in a spaceship or space station. And I encourage you guys to... Let me hop out here. Boom. Get your space station, spaceship stuff on, because you got all the cool parts to do it. It's so easy to be so inspired. These are also... Let's not forget about these older structures. I know it's not a new part, but it's still considered a steel lattice. This is a steel lattice structure where it arranges the steel in a certain way so that it's low weight, high strength. So I think that pretty much covers all the stuff that I was doing lately. I'm also going to throw in, you know, some other stuff. I'll make it interesting. We always are doing community time and having fun with all my friends and duckies. You're all welcome to join. I'm going to try to put links to the Discord in the description, links to my Steam group in the description. If you like the video, share it, thumb it up, and thanks for watching, guys. This is Chief Engineer signing off for now, closing out another video. Awesome times. If you want to build spaceships and you want to share them with me, tell me about it. I'm so in a spaceship mood right now. If you want to do a communications tower and you're really proud of that, show it off. Let me know. Tell me what you're working on. I'm so interested. But for now, Chief Engineer is signing off. Take care, my amigos. I've got adventures to go on. A UFO to fly. Woo-wee!
Oh yeah, it looks like you're just floating. Oh yeah, that actually happened. This one time when I saw a plane. This one time I saw a plane. Wait, Angel, take that off. Can you push it off for me, please?
He's trying to build his tower.
This one time I saw a plane that was like we were moving at the same speed as the plane, so it literally just looked like it was floating. Angel, try not to step on the tower itself because I'm building on it.
Wow, my rate of going up matches your rate of going up almost perfectly.
Yeah, like I can barely notice that you're moving. Well, besides when like I get rubber banding, but yeah.
Can you hammer never
Yeah.
mind. It fell off on its own.
It's like I don't want to be on this carbon fiber tower anymore. Goodbye, jetpack world. Angel, if you want, you can help me.
Look, I'm filming the construction.
This is funny. You should like record this and then make a time lapse of it. That would be cool. What are you doing?
Let's set it up.
Oh, wait. Wait, what happened?
He changed the speed of the piston.
Oh.
What happened?
Or did you reach the top? Did you reach the farthest the piston can go?
I reached the top. Okay, now I'm gonna
There
change.
you go. How you doing?
I'm gonna do a flip. Oh! Oh man, I'm under the world. I guess I'm in hell now. So let me just take this off. I'll have to, of course, rebuild it, the entire thing. Wait, Angel, this is loose, so be careful. Yes?